I haven't done as much true crime as I had planned on. Although I don't plan it a lot in advance and don't really do a lot of editing there or anything, it usually takes anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, usually closer to 30 minutes. But I thought I'd do one on a case I've only heard about twice. Her name was Skylar Neese. She was born in 1996 and she died in 2012. She was a teenage girl. Her hometown was Star City, West Virginia. She was kidnapped. She disappeared from her home. Her body was found about 6 months after she died in January 2013. She was killed in July 2012. Skylar Neese was murdered by two of her high school best friends, Sheila Eddy and Rachel Show. They had planned and carried out her murder, so it wasn't something that just happened. Rachel Show pleaded guilty to second-degree murder on May 1st, 2013 and was sentenced to 30 years in prison, but she'll be eligible for parole after 10. Sheila Eddy pleaded guilty to first-degree murder on January 24th, 2014, and was sentenced to life in prison with eligibility for parole after 15 years. Let's hope neither one of these gets parole. Just my opinion. Neese's disappearance led to new legislation in West Virginia. It made changes to the Amber Alert missing child alert system in their state. She was the only child of Murray and David Neese. She worked as an administrative assistant in a cardiac lab. That's her mom, Murray Neese did, I'm sorry. And David Neese was a product assembler at Walmart. This is Skylar now. Skylar was a student at University High School. She wanted to become a criminal defense lawyer. We need those. She worked at Wendy's with two close friends. I'm not going to really talk about the perpetrators' backstory. I don't think they deserve it, but I'm sure if you really look into it, you can find out about the monster. She had, on July 5th, 2012, which is when this happened, Skylar Neese returned to her family's Star City, West Virginia apartment after working a shift at Wendy's. The apartment complex's surveillance video system showed Skylar Neese had left her apartment through her bedroom window at about 12:30 a.m. on July 6th and got into a sedan. She didn't take her cell phone charger. Her window was left open, and she had planned on coming back home. The two perpetrators, Sheila Eddy and Rachel Show, had invited Skylar Neese to sneak out with them the night of the murder, and she had recently had a falling out with the two, and so she was initially she didn't want to, but she changed her mind after a series of phone calls and texts. I'm sure they said they wanted to make things right and stuff like that. And Sheila Eddy and Rachel's show had been planning Skylar Neese's murder for months. Gee, that might be why they had a falling out. They left Sheila Edie's house, prepared to carry out the assault on Skylar Neese, bringing with them kitchen knives, paper towels, bleach, cleaning cloths, clean clothes, and a shovel. They concealed the knives in their hoodies. I'm not going to go into a lot of details. They drove her, they pretty much took her across state lines of Pennsylvania. I'm guessing they lived close to that border, because I know that parts of West Virginia go up, at least near there, I'm pretty sure, if not actually there. But anyway, she was 16 when she died, so it's heartbreaking, and that didn't need to happen no matter what was going on. They attacked her when she had her back turned. At first, they did not issue an Amber Alert because they just thought she was a runaway. But basically, they couldn't keep. This is what caught my attention on it, because I don't cover cases that have been covered a lot or are just run of the mill. Basically, how these idiots got caught was they kept bragging on Twitter and saying little things, and so that's how they got caught. In a nutshell, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but Skylars Law is because of her. Because at the time, at least in West Virginia, the circumstances for issuing an Amber Alert had to be a child is believed to be abducted, number one. Number two, a child is under 18. Number three, a child may be in danger of death or serious injury. 4, there is sufficient information to indicate the Amber Alert would be helpful. And a waiting period of 48 hours had to elapse before a teenager could be considered missing. But a West Virginia state legislator from Skylar Neese's family's home district introduced a bill called Skylars Law to modify West Virginia's Amber Alert plan to issue immediate public announcements when any child is reported missing and in danger, regardless of whether the child is believed to have been kidnapped. Opinion columns appeared in both West Virginia and national media in support of Skylar's Law, some of which also acknowledge criticism and drawbacks of the legislation. I can see both sides, but I think it's overall good. I think it could waste manpower, but because there probably are cases of runaways and stuff, but I think it's worth it in the long run. On March 27, 2013, West Virginia House of Delegates approved Skylar's Law with a 98-0 vote. On April 12, 2013, West Virginia State unanimously passed the law that made minor technical changes to the bill with which the House of Delegates voted to accept on the same day. West Virginia Governor Earl Ray Tomblin signed the legislation into law in May 2013. It has had several nationwide media attention after everything come to light. But I don't watch a lot of stuff like that. I watch YouTube videos, stuff on Curiosity Stream, things like that. So I personally have only heard about it 2 or 3 times. 2 times for sure. I know I didn't go into too much detail. It seems like there was more information about the perpetrators than the victim, and I hate that, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the perpetrators. I know some people do. I know some people go into a lot of detail about the whole thing, but personally I think that they I think both of them should have got life in prison. I think that neither one of them should be eligible for parole because they planned it out. I don't care if they're 16 and that while they were teenagers too. I don't know exactly how they were, but they were old enough to know that it was murder and that she would never be alive again. Because I've been 16. I'm in my 40s now, but there was a time when I was a teenager, and I knew that if I murdered somebody, they wouldn't be alive no more. I knew if somebody died of a heart attack, they weren't alive no more, and I wouldn't see them again on this side of the death. You know, regardless of what you think happens after this life. You know, death is final on this side anyway. So I think they deserve more. But that's my comments. I hope you have a good rest of the day. I hope you can help this channel grow by subscribing and liking. And as always, when I do true crime, personally I think it goes without saying, be in a good headspace. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I always put trigger warnings in my titles when I do this kind of content. But anyway, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and bye.